On. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You don't know it's a boy Abu just getting here representing for First Sports TV. And we're back tonight with another preview. And we have a couple topics that we want to discuss tonight. But first, let me introduce the speakers tonight. We have Jigidan, Shane Kirby, Blacks, and Sports with Greg. What's going on, guys?
Good night. Good night.
Yeah. Happy Easter.
Back at it again, you know. Yeah, man, happy Easter to you all.
Yeah, man. We don't know who partake in the bun and cheese business, but them say at that time of year. But anyway, so in tonight we have a couple topic we want to discuss. In fact, it have to do with football either way. So we're just gonna get into it, cause tonight should be a short video. Question, right? Do you think kneeling in football has its intended effect? Do you think it's been effective? Because it's like a year. Say about a year now, right? So do you think it play a part? Shane, you have the floor.
All right. So, do I think it's had its intended effect? All right. So, in a sense, I think it has. You understand? In a sense of bringing notoriety to the issues that individuals are African American minorities, really, because we see it now where the Asian the community gets chastised, right? With the China flu and all of these things. But it's bringing notoriety to issues that minorities have, right? In a sense, it has, because it has kept it in the forefront of people's minds. On the other hand, the issue we have is that when you have a majority of people and well-meaning people that is paying attention to it, you always have dissenting voices. And it seems to be, most of the time, it's the minority of people that... Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's the minority that have dissenting voices or just want to oppose these things. But I think it has. Kept these things at the forefront of people's minds, and it has had most of its intended its intended purposes. Again, having people keep thinking and having conversations. I yield the floor.
Well said. Jiggy, you have the floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is such a nuanced topic. It's hard to speak on it, but I think it's important. So yes, as Shane said, it has brought light to a topic that has been suppressed for many years. We look at the issue now with the advent of social media, where we can see the abuse suffered, right? But I would like to point out that some of this racial abuse has been going on for many years. We have heard it throughout the music, whether it be reggae music, rap music, right, throughout the years, and people have been complaining about abuse like this, and it was swept under the rug. But now that we have social media, it seems to be more prevalent, which is, I don't have the data, so I can't say it's more prevalent, but we can see it, right? And anybody can now record it because of the phone. Now, when you're talking about kneeling, I want to clarify that we're talking about soccer, right? And but there's also still some kneeling in American football. And yes, it does. I don't know if it has had the intended effect, but it has brought light to the matter, right? Because we still see videos on a daily basis with racial overtures, right? And it's something that we all have to deal with, right? But the gesture was good. We see now that even some black people no longer kneel. The most prevalent footballer EPL footballer, is Wilfred Zaha, who said he's going to protest in another manner other than kneeling, right? So that is something that we really have to take into consideration when we talk about how nuanced it is, how everyone is different, how everyone protests a little bit differently. But to answer the question, I don't know if it has had the intended effect, but it has brought light to the matter.
Yeah, thank you, Jiggy. Thank you, Jiggy. Greg, you wanna expand?
Not a lot, but just to add to what Jiggy and Shane said, um, I feel like it has brought some light to the world at large. You know, social media is the way to go right now. I mean, in terms of getting your views out there or getting your point out there. So the fact that this has been big on social media, you know, a lot more people seeing it, especially younger generation, it is making a bigger impact. Now, I don't know if, I mean, I was always for the kneeling because I felt like the fact that it was creating so much attention and a lot the people that were being offended were in some sense the actual oppressors, to put, you know, if that's the correct way to put it. But yeah, they were actually the ones being offended by the kneeling. So actually we were making an impact, or we were causing a stir there. No, I didn't want it to just stop there. And for a while it had become stagnant. Like that was, you know, we kept on kneeling, and it just became like a routine before games. You know, like when you're playing football competitions in Jamaica, and when you reach to a certain level before a game played, the national anthem is sung. Kneeling had become like that. So it wasn't, you weren't reaching out anymore, or you weren't making a impact anymore. It was just, you know, just a routine. Now, what I saw Thierry Henry do like 2 weeks ago, that is taking it to another step. Now, I hope he continues, and this is not just, you know, a publicity thing, which I don't think it is, because he's a genuine person. I mean, all these years I've been watching him as a player and following him. He seemed like a genuine person. Now, I feel like a step like that should be, you know, it should continue, or people should continue to take it to another level. You know, don't just continue with just the kneeling. Like I said, it has become like a routine now. It's not affecting anyone anymore. No one is bothered by it anymore. You know, we needed to continue bothering people until a change has actually been made. So this step that Henry has made, where he has deactivated all his social media accounts, other sports influences, especially in football, needs to start taking steps like those. Not exactly the same thing, but just taking steps that will tell the world at large and show people that, hey, we're not satisfied with what's going on. So we're going to continue doing the things that are going to impact you until a change has been made.
Okay, you spoke well over your time, but point taken. Basically, you're saying it's like they're getting immune to this kneeling business. No progress being made. Okay, all right. Blacks, you have anything you want to add?
Um, well, I support what the previous three persons have said so far, and I think they are spot on. The one thing that I would add is that when did it achieve what the purpose that it was set out for? When I said that, you look at the context of what was Kaepernick trying to achieve when he started to kneel. He wanted to bring attention to the issue. So if you look at it in that context, yes, it did achieve its goal. What I think it didn't achieve is that I think a lot of people were naive. I think a lot of people were thinking that just the kneeling was going to bring out some greater change. And by itself, it cannot, and it could never have brought out greater change for that. So those people who were thinking that this kneeling was going to gonna cause this great shift in attitudes, in overall how black people are treated and all these things. Those people are disappointed. But again, I think they were a bit naive because we have seen protests over the years from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and from even Garvey when I start talk about some of these things from in the 20s and 30s. You know, by itself, no one act is gonna have no great change, but did it bring attention? Yes, it did. And I think, and me personally think that was the main reason for the kneeling. The second part of what it did, I think it was good because it revealed a lot of people too. You know, as Greg said, some of the people who were getting upset were the oppressors. You know, if you don't look at that. Now you saw them. Now you can identify them. And I like the fact that I could see some of them. You know, look at those two about a couple of weeks ago, the schoolers, the high school girl team, which they were kneeling in before the game. And the commentators on a hot mic, thinking that the mics were off, and the names they started to call the young girls. You know, I like the fact that this whole thing has revealed a lot of people, and slowly and but surely, we are actually seeing where people stand, how people really are, and technology and whatever else is kind of just showing them up. And I think so from that perspective, yes, it has achieved it, what it was originally intended for, but there's a lot more that needs to get done.
Well said, well said, well said. Any final thought in closing? Shane, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think that one thing we have to make sure, and we'll be careful that we're not getting into like where we have this issue, or in society, we get to a point with this debating where it's not tokenism, where people are just going through the motions, like Greg said, right? We cannot have that. And then at the same time, we're not one monolithic group. So therefore, you cannot have everybody think the same way every time. You have to allow for people having different ways and means in this process. Everybody now gonna think the same way at every time. So when people have the dissenting views, you have to listen. You cannot just shout them down because that achieves absolutely nothing. That is my point.
Okay, sir. With that being said, we're gonna move on to some sports now. Glad we was able to get that out of the way. As we had said earlier, we're gonna discuss the Italian league. Go over a couple games, not all of them. And yeah, here we go. Milan Sampdoria. Any predictions? Anything you wanna go over?
But the question I'm more asking, because I haven't seen this, I know Zlatan played the first game, I think for Sweden, and he didn't play the second game, and it seemed as if Milan, the wheels, well, I wouldn't say the wheels are falling off, but they clearly aren't the same team that kind of started off, and they seem to go how Zlatan go. He missed quite a few games. And they didn't perform as well. He's back. His goal scoring ratio is actually pretty good. I think he's scoring more goals or as much goals as games that he has played so far. And also, is he gonna be there? If he's there, Milan have a good chance. If he's not, then it's gonna be another struggle for them, in my view.
Sampdoria. Not sure if he's injured. I haven't seen or got any report. See, Greg have him on up. Greg, something you wanna add?
No, my bad. I think I actually entered that play, but yeah, it is AC. So my bad. But that Sweden last game, was that the game that he didn't play, was that a qualifier or a friendly?
I think it was a friendly. But you know Zlatan like to play football.
So I'm assuming that's why he didn't play that. I think this was talked about last night too. I think that's why he didn't play that game, because he wasn't friendly. Because what's his name? Emil Forsberg didn't play that game either. So it may have been because it was a friendly. Now AC is second in the table, which is still surprising because they had a poor run of games, like quite a few games. They had a poor run, so I'm surprised they're still in second place. But so has Juventus, I guess. Juventus has been horrible, and that's another topic. We could open a can of worms there when it comes to
Okay, Greg.
Juventus.
We're moving on.
Well, I don't want, let me just say this now. When it comes to, I mean, we're talking about the Serie A, and it's not that much an exciting league right now. So
But we're gonna get to Juventus.
no, I'm not talking about Juventus alone. I'm talking Ernie, hold on there. Ernie Smith, hold on. The coaches in the Serie A that have gotten extended stay. That's something that could be discussed again because a Gattuso, a Pirlo, I mean, those guys have gotten extended stays and haven't done much. But yeah, we continue with the games.
Well said. And to be honest with what you just said, the legends or past players are doing horribly. But we're not discuss that. Atalanta, una dice.
Yo, I want someone. Me not talk about Milan on my side. Me not understand what's a move on from Milan on my side. Yo, me not moderator. Alright, no, call back on the line. Yeah, me talk about me on my side. Anyways, as you know, Brian Diaz is my favorite baller, young baller. Right? We have had this debate many times with that Brian Diaz, Foden. I can't compare him to Foden and what the other one, Sancho anymore because they have excelled because his management. I want to point this out. Brian Diaz's management, him father and papa, him mother, whoever decided that he should go to Real Madrid from Manchester City when everybody else went to Bundesliga. To this development, but he went to AC Milan now and now he's playing very well, right? So I've never understood how to play his name. Konhalaglu, whatever his name is, what's his name?
Action.
Martin, I can't pronounce his name. At AC.
Shane can't pronounce it.
That person.
Yeah.
Right? They were leading the league yesterday. They had a bad run of farm. Rough patch. It's understandable, but it's going to be a battle for the end still. I think it's not clearly out there. There's still like more than 10 games left. So it's going to be, I'm going to watch all these games. I think the man Sampdoria 2-1 to Milan. That'll be my prediction tomorrow. But I really like the talent that's in the AC Milan team. Very much so.
Jiggy, I didn't know you was a AC fan, but since you went down that road, if you solely depend on 6-year-old Zlatan, like when him get injured, your side struggle. Well, I'm still not convinced it's your team.
COVID has affected everybody, right? We have to wait and see what the ownership of Milan do in the summer to prop up the team. But it's still going to be a battle to the end, right? It's going to be a battle to the end because the coach for Inter is Conte, and he's going to mess it up, right? It's going to be a battle for the end, right? So I have faith that Milan will be there in the end. Who's going to win the league? I don't know.
Okay, so now we can move on. Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right, cool. Get to the Atalanta, one of these again. Shane is going to speak about his favorite player, Lukaku.
So who Inter?
We're going to talk about Atalanta first.
Okay, all right, yeah, Atalanta.
One of these a game.
Well, again, Atalanta in that bunch about 7 teams who will battle for top 4, and that the only intriguing thing I see, in a Serie A. Who go finish top 4? You understand? Atalanta, just like Milan, at AC Milan and Juventus, they have had spotty farm where they drop whole heap of points in which they shouldn't. Atalanta again and again too, they were poor in terms of way they drop out of Champions League. So I don't know what that's about. Where all Syria teams them just seem to be struggling, but they need to get back to winning ways and try to solidify them top 4 place Atalanta, because they don't want to lose most of the players than what they have again, because they can attract good players like they're supposed to. So they need to solidify them top 4 place for next season.
I think they should be safe. But we're gonna move on. Anybody else want to speak on it?
Well,
the only thing I want to know is when is Greg Ball Zapata gonna show up, right? And bring the team, the Colombian baller to the when is he gonna bring the team to the promised land? That's what I want to know.
Well, again, they have whole heap of good players. The problem is that league is very good, right? So you may look on it now, and you have Atalanta in a 4th, and then you have Napoli, 2 points off of them. You have Roma, who is 5 points off of them. And you have Lazio, all of them still in with a shout. So it's a league with depth and good quality. All of those teams have players who can hurt upon and turn up on any day. And put in a performance. So it's a league with real quality. It's not the Syria of a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And for them get over the top, you still need. What you say?
I have a question to Greg and you Arsenal fans. Why is it that Mkhitaryan is playing so well at Roma, and he had that issue at Arsenal? I'm trying to understand. Like, he's playing this lovely football, so I want to put this on to you. So both you and
one question at a time, Jiggy.
Yeah. You're asking about Zapata. Let me answer the Zapata part. Actually, Zapata wasn't my baller at Atalanta. I rate him because he can't get the job done as an olden day centre forward playing the modern day game. He can still get the job done. My player was actually Alejandro Papu Gomez, who they sent to La Liga. That was actually my.
In Ghana, no.
Eh?
Yeah, in Ghana, no. Which I didn't understand.
In Ghana La Liga, that was actually my play at Atalanta. But yes, Zapata is still doing good. But you may not know this, but my favorite Colombian striker over the past 7 years, other than Falco, is the leading goal scorer for Atalanta right now, Luis Muriel. Yep. When he was at Udinese, that was my young striker. When people were talking about Carlos Bacca, Luis Muriel was my young striker. And he's the one.
Greg, it kept taking him a while for really.
Yeah, that's true.
To perform how people want him to perform. Because everybody knows he could have killed people.
Yeah, but he's the one leading goal scorers in Italy now. As far as Mkhitaryan, why you asking us that question and not the Man U fans? He did like half a season at Arsenal. Seriously. That's a question for the Man U fans, bro. And I mean, Syria is where Man U's players, Manchester United players go to retire. I mean, Ashley Young, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan, Chris Smalling, or Mike Smalling, whatever his name is. Man U players, I'm going to retire. So, enough of we there.
Alexis Sanchez.
I'm going to have to get a Man U fan on this chat. JR early powered off a vacation.
Oh, one message today.
Kush take the initiative, but him say him phone dead. So yeah, we need to.
I left and tired because he right and put up.
Would you one message me today now ask me so what kind of bias live this is? Only Arsenal and Liverpool fans.
The platform is open. Listen, Man U fans.
But Shane is on it.
The platform is here. Forward.
No, Shane is neutral.
No man, Arsenal that man. Yo, him have Arsenal jersey now, so he can't say nothing.
Nah, he's more like a Fulham fan. Anyway, Bojo, what next?
I look for Inter game.
Yeah, that game, Shane want comment, man. Mute the mic.
Well, let me see what I'm play first. I lost it. Shane, you know what I'm play?
Bologna, and then you have a touring derby. Oh, that's gonna be good. You have Juventus and Torino.
Shane, who Torino? They still have Bolatti?
Yes, and in the score too, so it should be a good game. Juventus need points, and no game. They struggle every game to score, so that's gonna be a good derby.
You remember when every team in the Premier League was linked with Bolatti?
Yeah, and they should be again. Again, that's the thing. He's still a good player, but everybody is in love with Haaland and everything. They talk about
Juventus have 3 players suspended for Saturday's game, you know. So
they should be still able to win the game.
3. It's gonna be a struggle.
Ramsey, I show up, you.
Arsenal fans always have hope. Wow.
Speaking of Arsenal fans, quickly, did you all see the tackle that Harry Kane did on Szczesny in the England-Poland game?
No, I didn't see it.
But you need to pull it up and put it on screen. It was a disgusting slide tackle. But as usual, him get away with it.
No surprise.
For some reason,
he got away with one in the last Premier League game that they played also too.
Yes, he's been getting away with a lot of tackles recently.
Somebody needs to leave something for him.
I guess it's just his frustration at this time. You know, he's not gonna win anything at Tottenham, and they're not gonna let him go. So he's just frustrated. Maybe he's gonna have to bite somebody like Suarez.
How you spell Szczesny?
Eh?
How you spell Szczesny?
S-E-Z.
No, it's SZ.
Oh, it's SZ?
Yeah.
NES. I don't know.
Jiggy, who cares anyway?
I don't even know if it's spelling first name because Vujcek. Unbelievable.
It starts with a
So the
W.
next game we're talking about is the Inter game.
So yeah. So we have Inter versus Bologna. As if you're Inter, you have 10 points. They're 10 points ahead of everybody now. So they kind of can really focus on the league, focus on finishing off and win them first. Syria in a while. Yeah. What is that?
6.
6 points? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with a game in hand.
Oh yeah. Just look funny. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, but they should be able to finish off a league, and then have one of the best striking lineup. They have the midfield. They have the defense. They have everything. There's no reason why they shouldn't finish this off and be forward as champions. You know, I mean, kind of realize the talent that's in their team that people been talking about for years. Again, it'll be interesting. Not talk about Lukaku, Bojo. It'll be interesting for Lukaku, number 28, right? Just like Harry Kane. I wonder what will happen after this season. You know what I mean? Him amongst the top scorers in our league. And I think that depending on how the strikers them in a Europe move, I think he'll probably move too. Maybe we'll fall back to the Premier League. Who knows? You understand? But again, it's one more year where he is amongst the top scorers in Europe, and I just want him to get the recognition. Go on, Greg.
Blacks, go on, because you know something for Owen. Go on.
Well, I was looking. I remember because I don't follow the Italian league as everybody else, but Bologna, I think they have given up by about 44 goals and them scored 39. That means that's clearly a team that's either very inconsistent and struggle defensively. You know, so Inter, I think, are the leading goal scorers in the league this year. So from that alone, you should expect Inter to do the job. You know, you see, it's amazing. Shane said that they are 10 points ahead, and the only reason why he said that because they are 10 points ahead of Juventus. Because that's really the standard in Italy, you know? It's where you are in front of Juventus. That's why he said it. When he said it, because in my mind, I remember 10 also, but remember, no, they are 10 points ahead of Juventus. Because Milan is actually only 7 points, I think, behind them, you know? So it's just that. But I would really like to see Inter do it this year, especially the fact that they have Man U rejects over there that are kicking ball in the goal, and Man U still can't find a center forward, you know? I would like, just for that alone, I'd want to see Inter do it. Just for that alone.
But even then, they go say he never fit all the system and justify that stupid way there. Make no sense.
Yeah, that's, I know I can hear Ricky say it right now. When I watch tomorrow, I'm going to say it right now. I can hear Ricky. Ricky, I call you out right now. Yeah. But the man is a goal scorer and a score goal everywhere he has been. Every single, from Pee Wee to now, he must score a goal. And if him don't score a goal on your team, it's because you are doing something wrong. You know? And that's why I look at it.
Score a goal in a 20 system. What are you talking about? A West Brom. What are you talking about? And when they say he can't he never fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer system, they don't even know what his system is 2 years into it. But let's not go there.
He doesn't fit Ole Gunnar no system. Yo, but anyway, still, we not gonna talk too long about Inter Milan, but at the same time, as I lost reverberate, Inter Milan, bro, have a top squad. I mean, you have a person like Eriksen who went on international and scored, played some phenomenal football for Denmark. Pandebreak can't start in an Inter team. Well, or he's not starting because of Kante. And you also have Sense who can't get in a game, right? And I don't know why Kante still playing 3-5-2, but it's fine. Right? I mean, the team should hang on, you know, and not do like what they did in Champions League and collapse and get kicked out of that. Right? They should hold on and get this title, but we'll see.
All right, quickly. Even though Inter look like the runaway leaders, or look like the league is there, the runaway leaders, even though they look like the league is theirs to lose, they only lead in AC by 6. I would love for a Cinderella team, because if Inter win it, you still go feel like I say, okay, are the strongest team this season win, just like Juventus over the past probably 10 years, you know? So I wouldn't mind they slip up and AC win it. Now, where the competition really is, like Shane said, for the other Champions League and Europa League spots, what do you call them? Up to 7th spot. Napoli, Roma, and Lazio are still in with a shot of finishing even 3rd. You know, so that is where the competition is gonna be. The games that they're playing this weekend, who they're playing their games against, is probably nothing you wanna watch, but at least you wanna pay attention to the results of Napoli, Roma, and Lazio this weekend. You know, nobody really talking about them, but should pay attention to their results.
That's it. Should we move to French League or should we move to basketball?
Just one thing for the French League. Again, we have Lille PSG.
I don't see one game.
One match in the Farmers League?
Yeah, one game in a French League. I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Okay. So we waste no time on French League, right? We continue. Shane make up his face like him have something else to say.
You know it's French.
But saying that, will Posh lose this French League? Is the possibility that he'll lose it? Is it a possibility? Can it happen?
Yes. He'll mess it up.
He'll mess it up.
Just like when he messed it up and give the year you should have won it was 2015. Which year did Leicester City win it?
2016.
2016. He messed it up, right? He messed it up in the end, right? He had the opportunity to win, and all he had to do was be consistent in results. And they lost a couple games in the end. And I think even Arsenal passed them. Didn't even Arsenal pass them?
Yes, that was
the last year.
Last year. Wow. See, I'm telling you, I remember, how could I forget 2016? It was unbelievable. He messed it up.
That was Orlando Blast. That was the season there was roof in the Belgium camp because Chelsea beat them, and Chelsea had Hazard and there were 2 Belgians in Chelsea team and about 5 in Tottenham team. And the Tottenham ones were really upset at Hazard. I don't remember Hazard and who else were on that Chelsea team, but the Tottenham team, Alderweireld, Vertonghen,
the goalkeeper, Courtois.
Courtois was Courtois and Hazard at Chelsea.
Yeah, Courtois had us at Chelsea.
Yeah, there was a big one in Tottenham midfield. I think it was Nasir Chadli. Was Chadli still there?
I don't know if he was still there.
No, what's the left-footed one? Dembele.
Dembele was still there.
Dembele, the 2 centre backs, and there was someone else, and they were really upset because Chelsea beat them and prevented them from. It was Chelsea that stalled them. That was where the collapse started. So I can't forget that season. But yeah, Klopp. I mean, when last year PSG tied at this juncture,
hey,
normally they lead him by 10 points.
He might go think how he line up and mess it up, bro. He might get nervous.
That's sad though. I mean,
well, personally, what I would like to see, it has become a farmers league. Is a 9 in a row they win, or something like that?
About that,
or at least 9 out of 10. Juventus is 8 in a row. Bayern has won 9 or 10 in a row or something like that. It's ridiculous, and I want to see somebody challenging these leagues. I would like to see this be the year of the upset where somebody else challenge. Although you know what these teams do anyway, all of them will just go and just squash these other teams and spend a whole lot of money. But maybe one of them will come and buy somebody who want to get rid of from the team so the team can refresh. So.
All right, we move on. Basketball, and we don't have much time, folks.
It is real.
Well, we know why you're going to eat. The one thing I say, the Toronto Raptors just beat the Golden State Warriors by 53 points.
Bojo, we need a whole part of time to talk about basketball.
What a performance by the Raptors. Well, let me take up my Raptors hat. Look where I put it on.
If we're talking about, sir, the Raptors
just beat them by.
Sir, the Raptors are out of the playoffs. Do we really have to do this?
No, but I'm in Canada, sir. You can't tell me nothing.
Sir, the Raptors, let's not do this. Like, it's
Champions
embarrassing.
2 years ago. Don't talk to me.
But what I'm saying is that in order for us to discuss basketball the real and serious way, we need like 2.5 hours, sir. We are trying to, But at the same time, did you see the Denver Nuggets last night? I told you that it's a problem. The issue is that Gordon being on that team, it's defensively scary, and he is athletic, and he's like the 4th best player because Porter Jr. is playing well this year. So he's the 4th or the 5th best player on the team, and he was the star on Orlando team, and now he's playing on Denver Nuggets. They're going to be a problem. If the Denver Nuggets, people say we're crazy, but if the Denver Nuggets make it to the finals with Nets, I wouldn't be surprised because of the pickup. But, we have to watch the game play out. When is LeBron going to come back? When is AD going to come back? Right? When is Kevin Durant going to come back? Are they more injured than they're letting on? All these things nobody knows. Right? So
they took the real MVP, as you well know.
Right? Nobody knows. Right? If the Lakers lose the next 4 games, which they might, they are in 10th position in the West. They might be the 10th position in the West because that's how bad the West, that's how good the West is, right? I think they're 5th now. It's crazy, So we can't, as me say, we can't do justice with the basketball in the short time frame because there's a lot of, are the Heat real?
Greg?
Are they going to say, yo, we're going to challenge the Nets? Because the Nets look, the other night they only play with Kyrie and Lamar Aldridge against Charlotte, and they waxed them. Like it wasn't even a contest. It was unbelievable, right? So, does anybody else have that type of firepower?
Me tell you about James Harden and him go vomit, I'm not going to throw it, him go vomit. Watch out for that.
In the East, they can make it to the finals without James Harden or Kevin Durant in the East. That's how good the team is. You know?
I'm not denying that, but I'm just telling you,
You
beware.
mean either or mean without both of them.
Without both of them, they can make it to the finals because of the firepower.
So you have been drinking holy wine. Stop
They might be number one 3-point shooter in the league on the team. They might be number one 3-point shooter on the team. You know, right? Joe Harris.
I don't care what I say.
last
As
few
much
years.
as I have no respect for Philadelphia, I don't think they can beat Philadelphia without all three players.
No, sir.
Without all three players, they
In
cannot
the
beat
playoffs,
Philadelphia.
it's
I
the
think
firepower.
if they have all three, they're better than Philadelphia. Without all three, they cannot. And the all three have to be playing good also.
Are you putting your trust in Joel Embiid? We have seen Joel Embiid's act before.
Well, it's Toronto make him cry. It's not everybody else. So we're not going to make him cry this
We
year.
have
So don't worry.
we see him against Boston. We see him against Milwaukee. We have seen this for the last 4 years. I'm done with Joel Embiid. Until he does it, I'm done. I have no faith.
Well, as I said, I have no trust in them, but I still believe they have enough that if Nets do not bring them big three, if it's not all of them, and the two pick up or the Nets pick up, I have no belief in them. Blake Griffin and what name Aldridge, they're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna move the needle at all. In my opinion, they're not gonna move the needle. But they have to have all big three playing at a high level to beat Philadelphia. I just believe that's gonna be the case, just by default.
No, sir. I don't even think they had all three when they beat them the first time.
In a series.
In the game they played earlier. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. Sorry, we're talking too much about basketball.
Blacks. Unfortunately, I have to disagree with you as a friend. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he didn't show up at the Spurs, he is still a bona fide 18 to 20 points a game player. You don't think so? And Shane disagree with me too. Okay.
This is what I would say, Greg. He was on the bench in San Antonio behind the other young players they were playing, and he was averaging 13 points.
Okay.
Now he will be in the Nets, and nobody will be defending him because they have to defend the other 3 or 2 players.
Trust me.
This is easy buckets for him. Easy.
Yeah, man.
Easy buckets.
He's a bona fide scorer. You can't take that away from him. You're going to get at least 15 a game, 15, 16 a game from him. And if he's giving you that, then that takes a whole lot. And remember, Blake go give you at least 10. Blake go give you at least 10. I mean, listen,
I'm not worried about Blake. The only point I disagree with is you say so without you basically you say without James Harden and KD. I disagree with that.
I agree with both of them.
Yeah.
One.
If it's one, then I could agree with you. But if it's both of them, the East. Listen, man. Listen.
Yes.
Let me speak. The East have the Bucks, the Heat, individuals like that who you're not gonna get over with just Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. First of all, LaMarcus Aldridge can, and again, I'm not a fan of the Sixers. But LaMarcus Aldridge can't defend. You can't defend Embiid. I gotta be honest. I gotta give Embiid credit. Embiid we put up 50 on him easily, especially at this juncture. He's not a good defender. You understand? So it's about matchups. At least one of them. At least you need at least James Harden or Kevin Durant to get through this East. This East you have depth and you have good teams. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Bucks. But you need at least 2 of your superstars, legitimate superstars, not all-time superstars, to get through West. If you get through East, if you're Nets.
Shit, what's an all-time superstar?
Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes. But listen to me. There's a reason why Blake Griffin get bought out. There's a reason why Aldridge got bought out. It's not because they're great. It's because they had a big salary and they weren't playing up to it.
I wouldn't want to play for Detroit either. Come on. Let's be honest.
The Motor City we're talking about.
I already made 200 million. I've been to the playoff 1 time in 4 years. You would have still want to play there?
Again, there's a reason. Listen, but Jiggy, the second part about that part is that Also, nobody looked at them and said, "Oh, you know what? I think I need to go and get them." Because they could have trade for them.
No,
Somebody could have trade for them. Why didn't the Knicks trade for them?
that, bro?
Why didn't the Knicks trade for them?
Why would you pay 40 million for Blake Griffin, bro?
Exactly. That means he's just not that good
No,
anymore.
bro. No. Look at Detroit. Have you ever been to Detroit?
I would drive past it.
Trash city, bro. Trash. Brooklyn. Think about it. Just say the word. Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is garbage, you know.
Where
It's
is
a nasty
Brooklyn?
place.
Trash city. I would give back 30 million. If I made 200 million, say here, take 30 million so I can go to Brooklyn. Come on, man. Trash team, trash town. Hopefully nobody here lives in Detroit. You know, I'm in Minneapolis.
No. Make sure miss it. Don't click it. Yeah, but
Go ahead, tell us, is the heat real, sir? That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, is it real?
one on me for do. Print it on my Friday. I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
tattoo.
put on your forehead. Is the heat
I'm
real?
gonna get a tattoo.
Put it on your wall.
Couple nights ago, you tell me say me a fight for 7, 8, or 9 spot now. I fifth me there, no. Just I put it out there. I fifth me there. In a 2 games, I fifth me there. That's how the East is.
The
Now,
playoffs in me.
we run a losing run. Last night, Oladipo played his first game. You know, he hasn't racked up the points yet that we expect. But Budgie, you might have if you're not trying to something. But he might incorporate with the team so far. He look uniform with everyone else, and it's the kind of player that I don't know if it's really kind of player or the coach's kind of player. You know, the blue collar, hard working kind of Miami Heat style, where you will see some players look good in the Heat jersey, but they go somewhere else and they look completely lost. You know, he's that kind of player that seems to just fit that culture. And I mean, when last have you seen Jimmy Butler happy for 2 seasons of that team? It just doesn't happen. That's not Jimmy Butler. And when we talk about Kawhi all the while, but Jimmy Butler is not much different. This is the longest we have seen at a team look comfortable and still having fun and not coming out there calling out his teammates or bitching about something. So the Heat culture is actually fitting him. And Oladipo seems like that.
I think that, Greg, I'll just add one thing. I think that has a lot to do with the coach. I think you have a good coach there. That's why I'm not going to write off the Heat. I think there's a good coach that the Heat have that maximizes the talent that them have at their disposal. So therefore, it'll be good to see how the new acquisitions assimilate and work forward in playoff time. Let's see how the matchups go, because I can't write them off, because I do think Coach Spoelstra is very good and good in team ready to play.
What's the shooter we got from where is he from? The Kings? I still can't pronounce his name. Why name Jiggy?
You know, Bezeka. That's what him call him, Bezeka.
Yeah, he seems like a good 3-point shooter. So, cause we lose Olenek, and we still haven't replaced Crowder's points. So hopefully, he'll bring us some points. So yes, Blacks, the Heat is real, and I said it the other night that at least the second round. Now, don't be surprised if we go further, but at least the second round. I'll put my mortgage on that and I rent me up here.
Well, you're all in 5th, but you're 1 game out from 8th. So, I don't like saying no, they know where at all. You know?
Yeah. And
that
funny. I was surprised. I'm like 5th, you know, but yeah, it's just woolly teams that have are about the same record. You know, and then when you're in that chunk of teams, it just depends on where you end up and who you play, right? Because it's about matchups. Most teams kind of even in match in terms of them superstar, you know. Like, if you have Bucks, you don't want to play the Heat, right? It's just certain teams you don't want to play. You prefer playing younger team, you know what I mean, Charlotte or something like that. But it's just about matchups, bro. It really is.
I'm surprised Charlotte is in 4th.
Yeah. I was expecting them to start falling off after them lose that Lamelo. And they're still trying to maintain that again, 4th is still 1 game away from 8. So it can fall off real fast. But that was a big loss for them, you know. Losing LaMelo Ball was a big loss for them, you know. He does a lot for that team. You know, and for a youngster, for a rookie, to the way him play, he plays with a lot of swag. I like him game, you know. I really like him game.
Yeah, Scary Terry are real MVP for that team, so I don't even worry about LaMelo Ball, bro.
Who?
Scary Terry.
The Boston. Yeah, man, Jiggy right. The Boston, the one from Boston.
I know what you're talking about.
I would have to use a word to describe him. It will be tenacious.
Man's not hot to basketball and ain't top.
I know pick topic.
Don't worry, man. Topics, don't worry.
All right. We have roughly 10 minutes left on the live. Hopefully. I don't know if y'all familiar with the statement or y'all seen the statement, heard about it. The comments that Andrew Holness make about dancehall, the effect on the music and the culture and all of that. We see lately we're not lately, it's been a while, but where Malik Foster gets shot and Teddy Johnson gets shot and a couple of the Tivoli Ball of them go bust bigger bro for St. Thomas there and be a thing. So one have to say about that.
Well, first of all, Jiggy, read the statement why Prime Minister said, because I think
you want to read the statement?
Because I think that's very important when we see these things. Somebody actually read what was said, and then we try to contextualize actually when they say. So let's not hypothesize, because I don't think that the people who even they comment on it actually understand and read the exact quote.
I'm going to read two quotes from what the Prime Minister said, because obviously his speech was too long. But one of the ones that I found was that he said, in the last few decades, our music has been overtaken by violence. By the music we are producing, we are devaluing our culture, which is a very important asset for our economic development. That's one of his statements. But then he also followed up and says, serious work needs to be done in our creative industries so that we can produce works of arts that are edifying and uplifting to the society. So those are the two statements that stood out to me.
How can anyone disagree with those statements? Those to me are statements of facts. That's what that sounds like to me. Maybe people don't like the messenger in that case, but to me, those were statements of fact. Should he be the one saying it? People can argue that part of it. But again, from my perspective, when I hear that, I hear a statement of fact and one that I wholeheartedly believe in.
Yeah, so before we came on the live, we're having a discussion about the same topic, and I mentioned something of the start. I'm saying that two things here are true. Well, maybe even three things. The Prime Minister made these statements to deflect from his ineptitude in curbing the crime and violence. I have to just be honest. That's what he did. However, everything that he said was 100% true. Right? If I saw those words and I did not know it was Brograd who said it, I would agree with it. Everything that he said was 100% true. And the third thing is that he's the wrong person to send the message. Because people are going to point to say, hey, you have been here for 5-6 years. You have done nothing about the crime. As a matter of fact, the crime has gotten worse. So you can't make this statement because it looks as if you're deflecting. So people, if you look at all the commentary, people are using that same thing to bash it. So most people I've talked to didn't even read his statement. They read the headlines of the article and they made a comment and they dismissed it. Even though what he's saying is correct. If you are making art, music is art. You want music to uplift and go all over the world, right? But if everything in the music is, yo, me go shoot in a head with an AK or whatever it is, it's neither here nor there. But the other point to this is that the music we are listening now, or the dancehall music, is simply a reflection of our society, right? It is unfortunate. Even the educated people who are supposed to be educated, this is how we think in the broad spectrum of Jamaica. Regardless of what you do, the term is that you're dead. So if somebody step on your shoes, you're dead. If somebody hit you with a car, you're dead. If you cheat on your girlfriend, you're dead. Anything you do in Jamaica, you're dead. Like if you and your family argue over land, the young lady who was killed in Trelawney in the church, there were several voice notes that came out. And people are saying that, yes, she dead because she don't want to share up the money. So everything you do in Jamaica, there's someone saying, she dead. Right? The reasons don't even make any sense. The young lady who was killed in Portmore, raped and killed, people came out and said, why did she go in the car? So you're saying that because I go in the car to go to work, someone is supposed to kill me? Right? Some of the reasoning we have as a nation don't make any sense. So you see the same kind of thought process reflected in our music. So if every day I get up and I listen to that type of music, and I am already in that culture, it's like a cycle. So we say, if a boy this me for dead. So the moment you get in an argument, the first thing you're thinking in your mind, say, yo, me go kill him. Or me get me ready them go kill him because it's a cycle. Me listen to music. That's what the society says. That's everything I do. Dead, dead, dead. So that's my whole thing. The Prime Minister was right, but he can't be the messenger because it's now deflected from the actual true points of the whole message.
Sportswell?
Huh?
Yeah, me see my make up in PS Sportswell, so I want him talk.
I never see the video. I mean, me and Jiggy read a few inserts from his speech a while ago. I mean, I could elaborate on that, but I would rather deflect it a little bit to sports because a lot of times, well, music is culture, and sports and culture affect our society a lot, especially as Jamaicans, you know. It has a big influence. I remember 97 general election. We were expecting it to be the bloodiest since 80. Now, fortunately, Jamaica qualified like probably less than a month before election. And the aura, the whole atmosphere, there was so much joy, happiness, peace. The expectations of us going to France 98. That people completely forgot that me are Lebanese and you're Spanglers. You see me? So that election was peaceful. There were, you know, you have few local altercations here and there, but what was expected, not even a tenth of it didn't happen. So what I'm gonna get at is I know we have to take stance where COVID-related issues are concerned in Jamaica, but we have seen where the developing nations too, and you know, if we're trying to follow suit with them, trying to emulate the things they do, then probably we could come back in with a few sporting events. Because right now, the young minds in Jamaica, they have nothing to occupy them more than social media and trust me, they're very occupied with social media. But at least you know that sports, especially football, would try to distract some of them somewhat from the other things going on, or you know, deflect the things that are affecting them. So I feel like that's probably something that the Prime Minister needs to address. You know, if them bringing back sports, if even just like other leagues around the world without the spectators, you know, with distancing as much as you can, taking all the necessary precautions. So, like I said, culture is one thing, but sports also impact a lot. I mean, the culture impact our sports because sometimes the violence get caught up in sports, while at the same time, sports impact the influence that violence are reduces the violence in the society. So, yeah, Blacks.
The only issue I have with that, there's a general level of unruliness for the Jamaica. So you're going to have a game play in England or in the US somewhere, and nobody no jump the fence. In general, no jump the fence and go Ghana game.
Bro, we learned that in high school, bro. Stop it.
Right now, if you put one game in Jamaica with the level of what they go on, everybody gone same way. Listen, man, every day I see one party on social media, on WhatsApp, somebody have one party. Right now, yesterday, the government of Ontario in Canada just locked down Toronto again. The entire Ontario. most people don't know Toronto. Some is called Toronto. But the whole place locked down again. When them lock it down, we don't like it. Me upset like hell, but they tell me what? Me turn on my yard. Them not say the yard of Jamaica. Them not follow the simplest instruction. Why you think that if you give them sports, then go follow the instruction?
Blacks.
Yeah.
The Canadian viewers are saying too much patois. Can you?
Yes, for real. Yes. That's true. Blacks, I'll ask you a question, Blacks. Does the Canadian government give the lower income family subsidies?
Yes, there is some subsidy.
Okay. So how can you compare Toronto to Jamaica when that is not happening?
But
if I'm hungry and my only way I know to make money is to throw a dance. Remember, we can't forget where we're coming from, When we come from high school, we used to have people who call them a promoter. That is all they do. They don't know about any other means of getting an income than promoting a dance. You put a bar, a dance on the side of the street, then put a poster, they advertise, and you go there, you buy liquor, then trust it and get it on consignment, right? You trust the liquor bite. So how can you then compare Toronto to Jamaica? If I am hungry and I have 3 and 4 kids, 5 baby mother, what I'm gonna do, Blacks? Honestly, what I'm gonna do?
Jiggy, have you ever seen one of the party? You see, me can put on any party me want. You see, and the people them out there, and them are the one of the problem. And they want to put on the party here. It's the ones who are attending these parties that are the problem.
You're far from St. James, but you know, say it's not so go. The man who sell peanut got the party. The man who sell weed got the party. The man who sell stone. You need a man who sell stone at the party, right? All these things.
And fake Viagra.
Right, yes. You answer fake Viagra. No, but even don't laugh. We have to be honest when you have a discussion, bro. Right? Even have a brother who sell stone, party can nice, bro. Just come on, man. We have to be honest when you have discussions, bro. The Jamaican government is not giving the youths them any form of sustenance if you are shut down the country. People can't stay home with them woman and knock them about finance and money and farming and all these things. They will kill people. They're not making an excuse to kill people. They will kill people.
Jiggy, I am not really one to say that they must lock it down, But what I'm saying is that there's a general amount of unruliness, and even the simplest of instruction, put on one mask.
100% fact. 100% facts.
Try to do some social distance. This is the simplest one. They refuse to do it.
100. It's true.
And the amount of conspiracy theorists were down there who they push it, and enough of them from the entertainment industry are these anti-vaxxers and all these other people. Those are the issues I'm having a problem with. Honestly, most of the measures, I don't believe them. I don't support them. But at the same time, you see, the same thing that makes a person don't obey that is the same unruliness that leads people to shoot people. It's a general unruliness in our culture right now, Jiggy.
If I am not unruly, I'm not a Jamaican. So if I take away the unruliness, how would I be a Jamaican?
But Jiggy, we can't aspire to be a better Jamaica if we keep endorsing those things. We have to at some point say, listen, man, we need to step up and become better than what we are and what we have been. You know, if you go back to the music and you talk about what's going on and all that stuff, and when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter thing and the kneeling, and we said about it, say, boy, the phones have helped to broadcast it.
Yes.
I remember back in the day when I used to hear music in the 90s, because they used to violent like hell in the 90s also. But whenever you see the video them too, you see now,
it wasn't
the videos that accompany it actually has brought it to a new level. It makes it even more visual for these youths. And somehow they are so much more impressionable, and because they also have the means, because the guns were just not available back in the days. Now it is so accessible. A gun, when I was going to high school, a ratchet knife was the thing that everybody had. Now it's a gun, everyone has one. So the same man is with a juke with him ratchet or him ice pick. No, he can shoot you. You know, so and that has made the overall violence just kind of escalate. So the same person right now who said, boy, them for dead. In the 90s, he was actually saying it, you know. But I tell him what, he never have a gun and he might get close to you.
He couldn't spread that violence, just like the voice note with the young lady who was killed in church. Nobody could send a voice message to someone and say, yeah, man, you know she should die because she didn't share the money and send it all over the country for millions of people.
Technology has also done it.
And then what has happened? People hear it and say, oh yeah, you know, she's dead for real. And then you have tons of people agreeing with her, which makes absolutely no sense. But another thing is that
just one point to that. Just one point to that. It was crazy how just after a lady passed away and get shot, everybody kind of with the advent of WhatsApp or whatever, that's what most Jamaican people use. It was crazy how, like, right after everybody had the story and everybody kept talking and speculating what happened, everybody kind of formed a narrative because of all I voice note them. So till all I next morning when I got work, a Jamaican girl at work, they show me some different voice note, and all they tell me say, yeah, the brother went left in phone and all of these things. So news get carried or conveyed so quickly now. It's crazy. You understand what I mean? And again, society that is so impressionable. Whatever people try to put out there, it's easy to put these things out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, the social media thing and the fact that we can communicate and it's a much smaller world because of that. So therefore, these things help enhance the violence that's going on, I think.
This is my question. If I make a 2-minute message about forgiveness and I send it to you, would you listen the entire 2 minutes?
Well,
you know, these are the things. Like, if we send it to you, are you going to take that? Just like, everybody send that voice message with the lady disparaging the dead. And I send you a message about forgiveness and say, yo, you're bridging this, yo, make it go. If a man says something to you, it can't change you. Your feelings are hurt, move on. You will not send that message to anybody else. You will not send the message because you don't believe in that. People don't believe in that anymore.
One Greg.
Well, controversy do sell, but and it gets played upon. But go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Jiggy, to add to what you just said, I remember early last year when the pandemic just started taking course in America, and a lot of us were scared, panicking, you know, all kind of thoughts I go through our minds. I remember I did a 2-minute prayer video. I sent it out. And not even 40% of whom I sent it to on WhatsApp, the video got a blue tick. Because it showed me in a praying posture. So right away there, and it shows 2 minutes. So right away there, so I mean, who have 2 minutes for years to watch we got pray? Seriously?
Great.
But send a video with a man a chop an next man or somebody get shoot up. Yeah, man, before they even done watching them and share it too.
Greg, this is where I agree with some of what was said in relation to entertainment, because entertainers have the ability to more eloquently or more from a populist way put out that information, that same information, and influence, and they're not doing it. So the same way I said, they can put out a violent song. If they craft their thing around that same conscious message, they can have an influence. It's not because of them for make things bad enough, but I'm saying they can also be a part of the solution. I would know at all say, listen, I remember the first thing me go at Jammerl. The first year they keep sting at Jammerl. Me left Montego Bay and go and sting at Jammerl. I want something me wear. I'm a lens. I want gabardine pants me wear. I never have no jeans. Jeans. So gabardine pants me wear. Me the only man they wear gabardine pants because I don't have no jeans to wear. But when Bounty Killer come on stage and say, well, listen me man.
You know your travel facts.
My God, my church shoes mash up the way the place they go on. Me mash up my church shoes in the night. But again, I took that as entertainment. I didn't take it as saying tell me I must kill somebody tomorrow. And I was about 13 or 14 years old. You know? But a lot of people know when you see an accompanying video with that, when you see somebody with something look like a real gun, and also you have access to one, it changes the whole thing, you know. And that influence now is almost, it's more. It's at one point, like growing up, me grow up Cambridge. Me live between Montego Bay and Cambridge. But this was the case. Crime was something that happened somewhere else growing up. Now it's everywhere. It's so rampant right across. If you live at Portland, if you live at St. Thomas, St. Mary, you know somebody with a gun. The first time I see a gun, I was a big man. I don't know a police and soldier carry. Now, any little youth who is 6-year-old, I've seen a gun. You know, I've been around a gun. You know, so it's almost like a machete, or it used to be a machete. Now it's a gun.
Crazy.
Mr. Carlington asked, how do we get rid of the guns? I have no idea. But one thing I know, it's not the government who is going to do it. It's until the citizens of Jamaica decide that we have had enough and we are going to start reject these type of people around us. You know, stop facilitating when mothers and fathers and aunties and big brothers and so forth stop facilitating them, relatives and family members. That's when it's gonna happen. Because a lot of the crime in Jamaica, not all of it is, it's not random, you know. It's me and Jiggy have an argument, so we know each other. There's no way police can get in between that and stop that problem. Because me and Jiggy have a problem, and me have a gun and Jiggy have a gun, and me say I'll shoot him before him shoot me. There's nothing a government or police or whatever can do about it. So until we individually decide that we want to get rid of the society, it's not gonna happen.
Bojo, I want to point out some.
As I say, if something happens, then we dead.
I want to point out some music that we grew up on. Tony Rebel, If Jai Standing By My Side, one of the biggest song in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Luciana, Lord Give Me Strength. Right? Right? Never Give Up My Smile. Right? Garnet Silk. Where they are? Lord, watch over my shoulders tonight. Right? And Lord give us strength. Them are some of the biggest songs in the 90s. Everywhere, every party, them are playing now. Where is that today? All the rest of them turn freaky now. I don't want to do them song anymore. So what are you turn to? No,
I think in that era, I wouldn't say accountability, but watch out. You see, back then, music like that stand out. Things and time change. Now, if you're not sing, just like I said, if it dead and them thing there, you can't go tell one 15, 16-year-old say, oh look, make we sing one little era now, gun no they down there. Them no why you them not sitting there.
I think again that's why I write down some things right here, sir. I just point out. I think good art standing. The music is good.
This I want to blame the artists them for. Well, me can't blame them here. Them want to stay relevant. Them now go put a song with the mindset say, yo, this not gonna be a hit, but at the end of the day, it's a good song. Them not look on it like that, you know. Them want to know that every song what them drop is a hit song, it's a trend. That's the thing. Them refuse to remain relevant. Everybody want to be at the top. So them are going to feed into that type of music where the audience require. Just like I remember with TJ, a long time you know TJ sing. And him never did get the limelight. And after him boss and big and whatever, them ask him why I'm not do certain song. And the man say, yo, this a work for me, you know. And when him start saying about this, the thing take off. So the man say that I work for him, so that him I do. Now him can do whatever because him done win the fans already. So the fact of them being relevant or them trending, that them have to keep up with because I guess that I pay them bills.
Yeah, shame you write down something, but more of said Nation Bar's first song was Me Not Like Humans. And then his second song was a gun tune for Shoot Boy on the head. So the Me Not Like Humans, and that's why I burn out the one Greg when he post the song because I say, yo, the man followed out with a conscious song first. And I explain everything that somebody do to him, and then the next song him followed out with a gun song. Now still,
Nation boss.
Yeah.
Hold on, me dey go make Shane go first. Shane, hold your thought. Let me respond to him. That was not his first or second song. The youth had a freestyle for quite a while now, years now. Him just freestyle him 30-second, 45-second videos and post them. Now, these songs getting released were based on his producer. So the fact that the gun tune get released secondly, and producer released that. I know them the song they alone have. Anyways, Shane, like me say, please hold that time. Make sure you remember what did I say.
I'm ready.
Now, the kind of music that gets highlighted, may agree somewhat with what Bojo say. I mean, if you're an up and coming artist, it's hard for you to put out culture, roots, reggae, or, you know, conscious songs and get bust. It's hard. But if you're already established, I mean, look on the Popcorn and Barry's Hammond. Which song I get hits like that right now? You know? Jiggy, you look like you don't know the song of me attack. God is love. Popcorn and Barry Salmon. I probably the hottest song out right now. I mean, nobody never see that side of Popcorn coming. You see me? But him establish, Barry's established, then can put out them kind of song there. That song will get played. Now somebody like DJ High, which for like 5 years, me continuously post DJ High song them for me, my WhatsApp and my Facebook. Dog, me see people all message me and I say, dog, I hear artist. I mean, I say, no, me just like the message when I preach. And him try so hard. And Jamaica people continue to reject him. Him can't get a bus. What him do? He end up go link up with Javelani and do some gun song. You know, we lose a good one there, so. No, can't blame the Jamaica people alone. Can't blame the artists alone. You know who are the main ones I blame? The producers. Because if you got a producer with a song like that, and you know, seems like I said, boy, he go reach to a certain crowd. The producer now wasting time and put it out there. He not give the time of day. You see me? So when an artist says, boy, I produce and I run with that song, you know. I mean, look at somebody like Google. Google say, if you watch an interview with Google about an hour, the interview last one. The man I try for years. Me not even know say Google the boat from Elephant Man up on the river upon the bank. I from the entire Google I try. You see me?
Who watched that interview too? I saw that interview.
Yeah, and I just hear what name? Serrano, what's Serrano them crew anyway? Whoever was them producer.
That's it.
I hear them hear him song play on the phone. I say, yo, like that way I look for. And right there, so a bunch of artists with that same kind of conscious music for about 1.5 years spell there. And that did I go on because a different producer hear something and decide to take a chance with it. If them producer and not take the chance with it, the artist then will continue to do gun songs. So some of these producers have to be blamed as well.
Before Shane losing track.
Jig it up in eyes, a Shane time.
No, I think again I'll get back to the point where I think the Prime Minister when they try to get across is that these entertainers have to be more accountable. I think that then if you tell them, this is the thing, if you tell them, say you know so well influential, you know what I mean, and if you like blow smoke, you know what I mean, and tell them how influential them is, then we be happily take that compliment. But if you try to approach it from a different standpoint and say, do you know how influential you actually are in terms of the music you put out? Then they go start get defensive. Missy Movado, and I forgot who else. Massacre. Okay, yeah. And again, I don't think they understand the context. Sometimes when people tell you something, you have to try to contextualize what then they try to say. You understand? Nobody in there try to attack dancehall. He might never say, you know what I mean, cancel dancehall. Man, as I said, the art we try to put out, I wonder if we can actually try to change the messaging. Even if you talk about girl truth. You understand what I mean? Because it don't have to be all I don't think. You don't have to be all culture music. You can just change it. Change it from all of this violence. That's what I'm thinking. To something else and create a different art and see if that can help change the mind of these young kids. I think that's all the Prime Minister when he try to say. And I'm pretty sure that he knows that he not do a good enough job. But it's a whole societal thing. It's not one thing that is going to stop this violence, you know? That's what many try to say.
I just want to add one part to this though. I know, one of the criticism I saw of the Prime Minister was that he's hypocritical because him answer to the name Bro God. And, the last election before that, he went a champion boy and stuff like that, and them use a whole bunch of dub plate and them election campaign and stuff like that. And you can look at it two ways. You can look at it hypocritical. And I'm not going to fight a man say hypocritical, but I also look at it one second and say, so much events I've seen at Jamaica House where dancehall artists are performing there. Ding dong, they perform at Jamaica House. There was a time when we were growing up. If you're not the best culture artist, if you don't name somebody like Dennis Brown, you would never see Jamaica House. Shabba, Ninja, Beanie, Bunty, Buju Banton in their days when we were growing up would never go to Jamaica House and perform at anything at all. Now you see people like Ding Dong and other artists perform state-sponsored event at Jamaica House. That to me say that this person wants to embrace the culture, but you need to give him something more. And if you do give it to him, he will put you on a platform. His first time he got when he won the first time, it was this guy from My Dream. That's a guy who was at his thing. Before that, it's only some opera singer and some other people we used to see at these things whenever you have a state event. If you're not singing, no, but it's true. If you're not singing some classical thing, that's who you used to see. And a gospel artist used to be at these events. But when time he won the first time, it was a guy coming and saying, my dream. He was the one who was there. So as much as people can say it's hypocritical, and I'm okay with it, but at the same time, you can't be hypocritical either on the other side.
And the funny thing is, that brother was saying my dream is from a PNP stronghold. And he's still inviting for inauguration, you see me? Well, whatever they call it at Jamaica.
We have said that, Buju, you made a point that the youth them right now just they're singing the violence, or they're doing music with violence in it because that's what everybody wants to hear. But I'd like to point out, for the first time yesterday, I heard a song called Leader, and it's by Dexter Daps. I don't even know who this guy is. And it says Leader, and I say, okay. I click on it, and the song said, spread your wings. Nothing is impossible. If I can do it, you can do it. Spread your wings. That's what the song was talking about. The song the Leader, me see. So you can't tell me, and if you look on the comment, them are millions of views. So you can't tell me, say right now, that is all the youth them want to hear is violence, is how you bring forward the message. And I'm in my Massacre. I don't know who Massacre is, right? I'd have to go look him up, but me here saying name Massacre.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't, whatever that means, right? But the songs, I listen to the word, I get the word part, and I listen to it, and I'm like, that's an amazing song. And I saved it because I will listen to it again. But you can't tell me that all the kids want to listen to is violence when I am seeing music out there that people want to listen to. That has nothing to do with violence.
There was a point in a 2003, so 2003 and 2004 and summer 2005 where culture went forward back in the mainstream, wicked. People like Iway and people like
Richie Spice.
Richie Spice. I was exactly
Abidjan.
100% Fantan Mojo before in do all like foolishness. But that's not the point, right? That's not the point. But yeah, it went forward back, wicked, and everybody when they listen to culture, it was crazy. You understand what I mean? And again, it's about the art we put out. You understand?
All right. For respond to Jiggy. Me know me did say most, well, all, but majority.
Yo, remember, so Canadian fans want English, Queen's English.
Yeah, majority of the younger generations want to hear that type of music, Jiggy. They want to hear that type. I'm not saying there are not good songs out there. They're not good. I'm not saying there are not being good songs produced. It's not enough. We could use a bit more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Honestly, we are talking about a topic about 30-something minutes. We could have talked about this like an hour ago because it's so nuanced. It's a touchy subject because you talk about politics, people love politics, and you talk about music, you talk about sports. But this topic, the violence in Jamaica, is a big deal, and nobody really knows how to solve it. But the only thing I can say, we have to start change the way we in my estimation, we have to start change the way we speak and think. In saying that, we need to have forgiveness, bro. If somebody says something to you, if somebody do something to you, the first thing shouldn't come to your mind and say, them for dead. It's becoming ridiculous. Established countries don't do this, bro. Established countries don't do this. Jamaica is one of the most popular countries in the entire world. Established countries don't do what we are doing and kill off each other. We have the highest murder rate in the Caribbean and South America. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. So I mean, I don't know if it's the music is the problem, but I do know that our vocabulary and our behavior towards each other need to change, bro. Seriously, we need to start talking about your forgiveness. Don't worry about what people say about you. If somebody step on your shoes, move on. If you fight over family land, stop fighting over family land, bro. It's ridiculous, man. It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, it don't make no sense. The more and more you think about it, your woman cheat on you. I know you're a woman, bro. It's a relationship. If your woman cheat on you, go in and come cry. Call me, put my phone on mute and cry to me.
Jiggy, talk about that. I just got a voice note. When I'm watching just all one thing about this woman in St. Anne who leave one man, and the man they call the woman and tell her say him go kill her, and he say go report it to the police because you left me, I'm go kill you. How does the police stop that?
Yes, so that is society, bro. That is very commonplace. Remember, say from high school, people talk about common law. This is very common in Jamaican society, right? A woman can't walk out of a relationship from our youth. It's still going on today, and it's worse today because now it's on social media and glorified, and people said around this and say, "Yeah, the girl fi dead, man.
Yes,
the girl fi dead." Like it doesn't make any sense, bro. Shane, you want to say something, Shane?
But if you even look at it also, Jiggy, like for example, a few ladies have died recently, and it's not a big thing again. It's not a topic of conversation. Oh, we need to protect our ladies and whatever like that. But if you hear, what is our solution? Kill them. We must kill the one them who kill the one them. So our solution to violence is more violence. That's the problem. Our solution for violence is more violence.
Actually, my issue with the whole thing with the ladies who have died recently is actually women. Because women have come out and say, oh, why did she go in the car? And women have come out and say, oh, it's because she's brown and pretty, why people care. I am disturbed by what women have said about the women who have died by men. It has boggled my mind. I don't even know where to start to comment on it, because you would think that women would in this time, women would come and be unified with one voice. Hey, protect us, help us. You know what I'm saying? But they are dividing.
And Jamaica has a culture of victim blaming. We find a way to say this is the reason why that should have happened, and this is why if you never do this, it wouldn't have happened. It's victim blaming, and that's what I hear a lot. And you're right. And a lot of the time, it comes from other women. It's shocking. But also, men don't stand up enough for women. We don't talk loud enough in support of the women. We need to talk louder and stronger about it, and talk to our friends, because we know our friends, and we hear our friends them talk about it sometimes, and we sometimes don't get part of them and say, no, you cannot do that. You know, we as men need to talk up, you know, and support and tell we friend them when we hear them and go through certain things. And they think and say, enough time, they said it before they do it. And them friend, other men, did not tell them, say, no man, you're wrong. You don't own the woman. As somebody's daughter, mother, sister, you cannot do stuff like this, you know. We need to take responsibility about it, you know. And I don't think we take enough.
Yeah, as I said, on this topic, it's a very touchy subject. I don't know what's the right thing, but all I can say is that the way we think as Jamaican as a whole, from the high in the social ladder to the low in the social ladder, we have to start changing the way we speak. We have to start changing the way we think, and we can't sit down and agree with people who are making ridiculous statements when it comes on to abuse, especially abuse of women. Right? It's just not right. And the funny thing is that almost most of the males who are not, you know, homosexual, they have women, right? They have a woman, they have a mother, they have all these things, and yet we are abusing them. It doesn't make any sense. Like, men who have daughters are killing women because the woman left him or something. Men who you have a mother have a good relationship. You're killing people because they have said the relationship is over. Like, this type of thing don't make sense. It boggles my mind. I might not be the subject matter expert, but I do know that the way we talk to each other off camera, the way we have conversations, it has to start changing, right? I'm saying, hey, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal, you know, and trying to basically convince ourselves about doing the right thing before it should happen. Because, bro, we are human beings. It should come up in life, right? Somebody's wife is going to cheat on them. Somebody is going to step on your toe. Somebody's going to crash into your car. Somebody's going to want your land. Someone's going to steal from you. At the end of the day, your goal cannot be, let's go and kill them because I am hurt. And that is all it is. You hurt me, I'm going to kill you. Regardless of what it is, I'm going to kill you. It can't be that. It doesn't make any sense.
Greg.
I thought just crossed my mind. Because I think about, all right, a lot of the violence happening these days is really young generation. You know? Them are the real attack them, you know. I mean, yeah, you have a few 25 or older who've been doing stuff, or 30 and older who might still be doing stuff. But a lot of them is 22 and younger. You know, you see wanted list come out now, whole heap of them, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. And I was thinking to myself, I sit down and listen to talk all of it, and I just think way back, starting way back. Because a few days ago, somebody said to me, say, boy, them respect the changes that I make. Like, you know, now if me there at the ball field and here, me and the youngsters and we talk, like, you know, the way them address me now and the conversations I may have with them. And he must say when him just know me, like, a whole heap of time I on the ball field and me and somebody in a disagreement. Like, when he hear I come out of my mouth, he must say, yo, what dog they stay? So I mean, I say, you know, me think me did humble do, but you know, sometimes when somebody cross you, like we were also a bit retaliative and vengeful when we were growing up. I mean, don't you think that was in us too? Like, you go somewhere, go party with your friend, them blacks. I mean, you know, I think kill them, you know. Where I think beat them a boy there. They go bust a boy the head. You know? We were thinking of doing some kind of harm to somebody who offended us. And the bigger the offense was, the more revenge you were planning on taking. Now, the difference is, nowadays, their level of revengefulness have evolved tenfold, you know? So them I think kill them now, and them have them weapons evolved too. I mean, blacks, when you are 13, you're probably not even have your ratchet yet. You have a hose, the garden hose with the knife, you know? Probably that's still have a walk with. You see me? Now, 14-year-old, you have a pistol already, but you're 16, you was a 16.
Or access to it, you know?
Yes, so your level of revenge is higher than what Greg used to think back in a few days. When a few days a river stone, a stone wall.
Yeah. Well, Greg, you know, a couple years ago, I remember I had this seminar at work, and two things this brother said to me, and they have never. I think I was about 20 when I hear it, and they never came out of my head. And the first one he said to me is, he said, "If it is to be, it is up to me." And me always look on this and they said, take personal responsibility. But the most important thing what he said to me at the time was that the stimulant does not dictate the response. And we have this mentality, because somebody do this, you have to do that. Listen, the one thing that you have control over is your reaction. You actually have to choose to react one particular way. No care how much you think it is, you just react. That's the only thing you have a chance to control. You control your response. I don't care what a person want to say. I believe that you control your response. And right now, our response in Jamaica overall is that them be dead. And until that response change, nothing else will change. Because that's the response that we choose. That's our go-to response. And them need to change that.
Blacks, I agree to what you're saying. Don't want to call anybody name, but we're seeing where should I say celebs, sons, and these people getting into trouble because these very same circumstances. But moral of the story, look, is to the point where we can take responsibility and say, yes, somebody do me wrong, but I'm not gonna let the situation get the best of me, where my response is it have to be dead, as you say. Now go make the crowd face me like say, oh, they more look for me and say, oh, but you are fool, you know, because the boy this him, you know, and him just take that this so, you know, like we have to man up and no business what people want to say. Like you say, the response, like, in a have to reach that stage the way me and him a war. In this me, sometimes I can't say, sure, make it go on. In a have to result in a war and somebody dead. In a have to be that. Me not have to listen to the crowd and say, yo, you know, say, boy, this me and him for dead for real. Like, black out the mentality there. I'm not saying all the time, but, you know, try to see if we can resolve the situation a different way first. You know, always have to be, yo, the boy this me and him for dead back or something. You know, have to be that. We can take a different road.
Well, it kind of help if you surround yourself with people who is more mature or further along in a development mentally. You know what I mean? Because if the boy do this, and then you're around idiots, then go say to you, say, you have to go page him, right? Yep. So it depends on who you surround and get a serious thing, who's around you. You know, because again, we're all emotion. We're all emotional and we do react on emotions. And then if you have, again, idiots around you and say, yo, let's go take care of this, then again, you go 10 feet, get up and go do. You know, so again, we have to be more self-reflective and try to surround yourself with people who go somewhere. That's the issue. And then that start going in a realm of the community you're from and the people you're around. Most people don't have them kind of leader there around them, young people, because young people, as we all say, I do these things, they don't have the individuals that can guide them the right and proper way around them. So you're kind of product of your environment, aren't you? It's crazy.
You know, I have fallen off in this, and but it's something that affect me from the high school days. It affected me. Where the same argument that Shane just used, you need to surround yourself with people who are, you know, smarter, upward mobility, and all that type of stuff. And you know, the thing that affected me then and now, and no, I can blame myself for it now. But remember that one time my mother tell me, say, why me not go associate myself with some other kids, you know, who were in the neighborhood, in the community, who were, you know, better at school and doing all these good things. Why me always associate myself with these other guys? And it was a thought I couldn't articulate at the time. But me say, so suppose me are the one who go save somebody else. You keep saying that I must associate myself with somebody else. So somebody else will save me. Suppose I am the one who's gonna save one of these other guys. Which is why I always associate myself with quite a few of people who were not of the best character. But guess what? They listen to me. I wasn't there listening to them. I wasn't there following them, but they actually listened to me. I have stopped a lot of them in my life from doing something foolish. And even now, one of the things that I think we still don't do enough right now is actually reach back and help somebody out of somebody who's below, somebody who cannot do anything at all for us, somebody who needs that guidance. How much of us are actually still reaching back and talking to these people? You may not save. You may talk to 100 and maybe only one you save, but the one you save, maybe the one that was going to come and kill you. So we need to actually think about that. Not only say we need to associate ourselves with people who are of a better caliber, but we, even if we're not there as yet, even if we're not fully formed human beings as yet in our thinking, but we start to think so because it's a link that it's hard if one professor. When we're growing up, if one professor, somebody who go to university, come and talk to us and tell me certain things. Listen, my man, there's no connection between me and that person. But every person who is just slightly above me, in my view, who is willing to tell me, say, no, blacks, no, Greg, you can't do that, you know. You are more likely to listen to that person sometimes. So that link is what in my mind is broken. Because if the Prime Minister there's a disassociation between the Prime Minister and the youth. But more regular men like me and you and all of us right here need to have these conversations and try to be the influence to some of these youths. And I don't think enough of that go on because we're all trying to climb this ladder and not realizing that we need to help the ones who are right behind us because they need somebody to tell them if everybody shun that boy in the community who everybody says a bad boy, then what do you expect him to do? Who do you think he's going to learn from? His mother is telling him, why don't you go and have a conversation or associate with somebody better? And this person better, mother is telling him, say, no, he must go to somebody better. So who's going to talk to the next person behind him? We also have to look at it that way. And it's something that I always press with my kids. I always say, listen, man, if you're in a crowd, make sure you're at the front. Make sure you're at the front. But there's nothing wrong with a crowd. You can lead a crowd. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, but we have to be that link also. And sometimes we are so much looking for upward mobility for ourselves. We're not looking, so we need to actually pull somebody behind us also.
I'm going to add to that. Jiggy, you have nothing to say? We are close off now.
Yo, I don't really have anything more to say. I mean, I can just say what Black said too, you know. I know Shane was saying that you can associate with those peoples, but at the same time, if you have 5 young men who think the same, that say, anybody diss them, they might go back at them. That it's hard for that group to change. You're going to need a mentor who is strong enough to go in and say, listen, what about thinking about this in this way, right? And we as individuals who are reading, who have had life experience, we already went through that and we made it, right? They're jail, nobody's hunting you to kill you. So you made it. That's what I'm talking about, made it. I'm not saying you got millions of dollars, whatever. I'm saying that you got jail, nobody look to kill you right now, you're good. So I'm saying that know that you look back at your life experience and say, hey, I went through that already that you're going through. How can I help you? As someone to say, hey, don't do that. Or why should you not do that? These are the things I'm talking about, when I talk about violence, changing the way we think, articulating how we feel, right? Not abusing women, not trying to go kill our brother, the person in our community. We have too many fatherless kids, bro, and motherless kids because of violence that it's unnecessary, and it's a conversation that we need to have even outside of this platform. Shane, you want to say something?
Oh no, I'll just say that we have to be practical with these things. The kids, the younger generation that we talk about, the people who help the skew or create their mindset is the entertainers. It really is. I mean, they can run from them moral. Well, it's not moral. Well, they can run from their responsibility, but they help the foster how these young people look on life, and they really need to take that into consideration. You understand what I mean? So these kids who say don't really have any mentors. What can help to curb their mind? And again, I'm serious. That like back in the days when I was growing up, you know what I mean, early 2000s. You know what I mean? When we fall back at Jamaica and start talking to people and start to develop my character and my whole outlook on life. It wasn't only intelligent people. It was actually one heap of individuals who was not as intelligent, but then at the same time, then just had a more humbler look upon life, a more reserved look upon life, a more balanced look upon life, and that helped me out a lot. And listening to certain music, culture music, things like that, helped me feel kind of faster a certain level of thinking. Entertainers do have a lot for your account to with these people, these young people, and how them think, Bridget. I promise you. Go ahead, Greg.
It's a closing statement, basically.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
All right. To kind of expand on what Black said, when you talk about people who are, close to your level, whether it be intellectual, age group, status in society, whatever it is. When he was talking, I can recall an incident. I remember about mid-teens, mid to late teens, whenever don't crime, but we are give trouble. I give a little trouble at night time on the road. And it got to the point where every morning complaints gonna make to some of our mother. You have a few elder people on the road where complaints are make to each and every one of our parents morning time. Now me and my brethren were, I guess Jiggy and Bojo probably know. We live next door, and once for him yard I get complaint, my yard I get complaint. Or even if my yard I get complaint, once the complaint I make over a yard, my mother hear it. Now we have big people we continue to talk to, we are other people we are continue to talk to, and we are get regular school in them. But we still do what we had one night time. And one day one youth where probably got we about 5 years, didn't look run off, giving trouble and getting us some serious things. Couple near death experiences for him, but him survived them. And one day he called me and brethren and he said, yo, no come here. Him said, me telling you this. He said, everything when I do that and more. He said, the big people in the community, first thing I go tell them, have respect to them. Make them sooner love you, and always have good to say about you. He said, cause you saw Mr. Lawman come for then I ask no friend them about you know. I don't know, friend them never get reference from No friend them can come a courthouse go talk for I seen us in the community. You see me? I mean, remember that when he said out of the conversation, but he said a lot more. But the fact that he was able to sit us down and give us a reality check. Because this is some of the way we used to look upon and I say, yo, when I calling you, like let's say name Black, so I say, yo, Black's a bad man, Because we say Black, so I go run, so go fire some shut off for them, the man there, and, So we have this ratings fee as a stepper from back then. But the fact that he was able to sit us down, give us a reality check. I mean, I don't know if Marissa friend them want to take heed to it, but it click. Me think about what he say. And me try after that, if I even respect the elders, and like people couldn't have nothing bad to go to mad about. Me not say me might not get trouble still, but there are certain things where happen where you don't let, me never used to make seniors in the community know. So to add to what you say, Blacks, sometimes we who they are level above, 2 levels above, but we can identify with somebody who they get in trouble or who they do things. Sometimes we are the easiest person to reach out to them, or we might be the most likely person for them to listen to. They might not listen to Jiggy because Jiggy might forward and sound too intellectual for them. But Buju go sound like a Chilani in come from when I chat to them. So they might pay more attention to Buju. But yeah, you have a very good point there. We need to start looking at ourselves too and see what is it we can do. How can I help you to make you better? Sometimes that is what we need to do. Alex,
you still a get trouble, youth. Alex, man. Yo, remember the line all the way back halfway in the head, You see it? And the real Michael Blacks and Alex me still,
Yeah.
So that's it.
Alex, big up yourself, kid. Big up yourself, man.
Yo, Alex is like 19. What I mean? My man means him to take a nap. What kind of man this man?
yeah, that point. You do look sleepy.
Yeah. Can we please wrap up so Buju can go to bed?
Yeah, man.
Yo, I'm going to tell you from 4 o'clock this morning.
Earlier, I meant to say intimate partner violence. Yeah, intimate partner violence. That's what I meant to say earlier.
Anyway, it was a good show tonight. I never see the show going this direction. We planned it at having a 30-minute show.
30 minutes.
Cruising in on 2 hours smoothly, but on a positive note, I'm like it,
Easy.
I think we need not just us, but other people who have platform and who can lend a hand. If get more of this type of conversation out there, the youths they need somebody to look up to who not have father figure and all of them things there, So like me say, I like the energy and I like the feedback them and from all on the perspective, Hopefully the message can get across to at least one, and the one that can make a change or what down the side of the road. But yeah, so you see right here we got all of the good content from Full Sports TV. We're very versatile. Very.
Yo, but you heard me call my wife before you get
right. Yeah, the comment section, So yeah, like I was saying, it's a boy we just getting here. Closing in the show tonight. Full Sports TV, Big Up Sports with Greg, Jiggy Dan, Blacks, Shane Kirby. It was a pleasure. Good show. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget. Subscribe and share. Subscribe.
When again, Monday night, Premier League review and Champions League preview?
Yeah.
Okay,
I will come to watch along if you're not available.
For Arsenal beating Liverpool?
Yeah, for sure.
We can do that.
Let's say we do Arsenal Liverpool review.
No, watch along.
Oh, watch along. Oh, okay.
All right.
Chelsea first I play tomorrow. I think at 12:30 last game, Brian.
Yo, lift up my man. I want to lift up my man. Yo, Brian.
Okay.
Yo, anyways, manners and respect,
Yeah.
Brian, respect. All right, bless. And enjoy the rest of the Easter weekend.
Be safe.
All right,
Have a
bro.
happy Easter. And we see you soon.
Bless.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Oh.
Respect, yo.